talkative.
But he's got meat between his ears.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Yes, sir.
Yes, have some.
All right, welcome to it. The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on both Facebook and YouTube. You just got to go find Nation of Jake. Very simple to do on the internet. I'm also on Twitter, at Nation of Jake on Twitter. You can keep up with the program that way as well on this Wednesday, June 5th, year of our Lord 2019. Mostly cloudy, 88 degrees, and that's the high for today. I'm waiting on all this rain. We got some rain yesterday afternoon. It's rained for a little while, but if you look at the forecast, it also got the cloud with the lightning bolt for like the next 5 days, but I've yet to see any rain. It feels like the bottom could drop out at any minute. So we'll keep an eye on it for you here from our East Memphis studios on KWAM. Memphis City Council, very busy yesterday. Councilman Frank Colvett will be along in a little bit to tell us all about it. I know they tackled the budget and also the Beale Street cover charge. How long will that be around? We'll talk to Frank about that around 2:20 this afternoon. Also, something must be done about these scooters. All the scooters downtown. I was downtown the other night with my buddy Dave. He was riding through Nashville, and we were downtown, and all these scooters, they just pile up. It's like we've got these companies that have come downtown. They're providing some people some ways to get around on a scooter in downtown Memphis. They just pile up like it's garbage everywhere. We got to do something about it. They're doing something about it in Nashville, and we need to get ahead of the problem. We'll talk about the scooter, maybe a scooter ban. I'm not sure. I'll tell you why it's a big problem, and we'll go into it a little bit more in just a little bit. Plenty of other national and local headlines throughout the program and also in the news crews. So we've got a very busy show this afternoon in the Nation of Jake. Donald Trump is finishing up his trip to the UK to commemorate the 75th anniversary of D-Day. That is tomorrow, 75 years since they stormed the beach at Normandy. Today you've got some awesome ceremonies going on. I saw a 97-year-old guy parachuted, jumped out of a plane just like he did back in June of 44. 97 years old. You said, you know what, that was fun. Let's do it again. I hope I'm able to do stuff like that when I'm 97 years old. So the coverage of Donald Trump, it's funny. It's been largely negative here, but then you talk to people over in the UK or you read reports in the UK, everybody's totally cool with Donald Trump having visited. There was all this prelude to some kind of conflict over there, especially with the whole Meghan Markle thing. As you know, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, she married Prince Harry, and she was asked about Donald Trump and his visit to the UK, and she said something like she's not going to be around for it, and she's called Donald Trump misogynistic and divisive, and even threatened to move to Canada if he got elected. Now, this was back before she was the Duchess. This was when she was on that show Suits, which I think was on USA or TNT or whatever it was. When she was just an actress, she was very vocally anti-Trump. Well, Donald Trump, when he heard that Meghan Markle had these things to say about him, he says, I didn't know that. I didn't know she was nasty. What can I say? And what he meant was, he didn't know that she said those nasty remarks about him. And so the precursor to Trump going over, it was all about this dust-up that he had with Meghan Markle. But here's the thing, he's never met Meghan Markle. And so all these people, especially stateside, were trying to make it all about that. But then, you see all the video of Donald Trump, being led around, and he's touring with the Queen of England. He's meeting with Prince Charles. Everything seemed to go pretty well. I mean, you got a few shots of the big Trump baby balloon out there, but they're even saying that the protests, the anti-Trump protests over in England were about a third of what they were last year when Donald Trump visited the UK. So I would hate to think that people in another country like the UK, one of our greatest allies, that they plan their lives around Donald Trump, President of the United States, going over there for a visit, and that they go out of their way to protest and fill up the streets with their giant baby balloons and whatnot. They don't, really. It seems like the folks over in the UK view the United States as an ally, and they don't judge everyone in the United States or the people collectively based on who is elected to represent them for a relatively short time. 4 to 8 years is not a long time. I mean, the UK, they are an ally, one of our greatest allies. We had to set them straight back in 1776. Check that. You know, a few years ago, 250 or so years ago, we had to set them straight, slap them around a little bit, let them know how it was going to be. But since then, we've been cool, right? So you've got some glowing reviews, very positive reviews of Donald Trump's UK trip. The BBC, Financial Times, The Sun, The Evening Standard have all published positive headlines about Trump's visit, while many American media outlets focus on protests and the old Markle comment. Now, I want to pull up the interview that Donald Trump did with Piers Morgan. I guess Piers Morgan, what's his deal? He's been everywhere. He's been disgraced, but they still keep giving him jobs. I guess he's kind of like the Ryan Seacrest of Great Britain. Like, he's on every show over there. He's on Good Morning Britain. He's on their talent shows. He's just one of those guys who's always around, always very visible. First of all, Piers Morgan took issue with all the protests around Donald Trump's visit. Check him out there on Good Morning Britain.
Donald Trump will be welcomed to Britain today by the Queen.
Welcome, my son. I will welcome the President of the United States here.
No, you will.
There'll be thousands running to the streets with their baby blimps and
exercising their democratic rights to protest.
Perfectly entitled to do it. I'm perfectly entitled to say, I think actually in D-Day anniversary week, a little bit disrespectful to be waving baby balloons all around the place at the President of the United States. Because when we needed the Americans in World War II, they were there for us.
Yes.
And if our response to that country
is to exercise our democratic right to protest.
If our response is to have bigger protests against the leader of the United States than it ever was against the leader of Saudi Arabia or against leaders of China or Russia, who all got state visits here without these mass protests, there's something a bit warped about our values, isn't it?
Not a bad take there, Piers Morgan. And here's the thing about Piers Morgan. Here's why I like Piers Morgan. Is because I don't agree with everything that he says, and he takes it issue by issue. Piers Morgan has been criticized for defending Donald Trump, but then he's also gone after Donald Trump on certain issues. So I don't hate Piers Morgan by any stretch. I think he's kind of a goober. I see too much of him. That said, he sat down with an interview on Good Morning Britain, and everybody's focusing on some of the goofy stuff. He gave Donald Trump a Winston Churchill hat, which nobody can wear like Churchill, but Donald Trump put it on, and now it's a meme, of course, because he puts himself in these positions to look like a goober. He doesn't need much help, does Donald Trump, but he's got the Churchill hat on. He does address the whole Meghan Markle thing, and I think that it makes sense.
We've been talking about this Meghan Markle business.
Yeah.
Do you think Meghan Markle's nasty or not?
No, the question was asked to me, and I didn't know that she said anything bad about me. It sounds like she did, and that's okay. I mean, hey, join the crowd, right? You've heard about that too with yourself.
Of
I
course.
know that, right? But it seems like she had, and they said some of the things that she said, and it's actually on tape. And I said, wow, I didn't know she was nasty. I wasn't referring to her, she's nasty. I said she was nasty about me. And essentially, I didn't know she was nasty about me. So I said, but you know what? She's doing a good job. I hope she enjoys her life.
What do you think of her?
She's
American.
I think she's very nice.
She's an American princess.
Honestly, I don't know her. So I have to be honest. I don't know her.
I mean, that's the most honest thing you can say is I don't know the woman. I've never met her. All I know is that she said some things about me. She doesn't like me. So what am I supposed to think? I've never met the woman. I don't know who she is. Other than the fact she was an actress who married the Prince of England or the Prince of Sussex or the Dutch of Sussex, whatever the hell Harry is. All right, so, and what's really funny, like the funniest thing I read today is after seeing Donald Trump have this successful trip over to the UK where he didn't embarrass himself too badly. Sure, you had the mayor of London. He said some things about Donald Trump that were critical, and that's fine. The baby balloon, whatever. But overall, he didn't embarrass us. I mean, maybe he embarrasses you every day if you're an anti-Trump. I don't view him as the guy who speaks for me. Now, he does represent the country when he goes overseas. Now, on CNN.com, this is great. This is great if you just could gauge the level of obliviosity, to make up a word. The press is so oblivious. They are so unaware of how... Just check this out. All right, I mean, it's hard to explain. But there's a headline on CNN.com. How Donald Trump for years used the royal family to gin up publicity for his properties. All right, so he's over there, being very civil with the Queen of England. But CNN wants to point out that he used the royal family for publicity for years. And they come out with all these different examples. The first example is Donald Trump telling people that Prince Charles and then new wife Lady Di were looking to buy an apartment at Trump Tower in 1983 when it was opening. The claim generated significant publicity for Trump Tower, which the then 36-year-old real estate developer Trump hoped would be his signature building. But if it wasn't true, and the source of the misinformation, according to our 4 biographies, was Trump himself. All right, the reports began in the New York tabloids, but they were quickly made into the outlets like the Associated Press and Boston Globe. Prince Charles and his new bride are planning to buy a $5 million 21-room apartment in the under-construction Trump Tower. That's Associated Press. All right, so there was this rumor that Chuck and Diane were going to buy an apartment in Trump Tower, and it probably wasn't true, and it was probably started by the Trump Organization, maybe even Trump himself. But do you think that's Trump using the royals? No, I'll get to it in a second. The second one was that Lady Di was going to build a $5 million property in Trump Tower some years later, like in 1992. They said that there were 2 inquiries made about the apartment for Princess Diana, and that's the New York Post, citing the Trump Organization. Buckingham Palace denied it. They said, no, nobody has reached out about building anything in Trump Tower, so that's number 2. And then a year later, this time on the entire front page of the New York Post, the same one. Lady Di was going to buy an apartment in Trump Tower. That was picked up by the national media and reported on as if it was fact once again. And then 2 months after that, it was reported that Chuck and Diane were signing up at Mar-a-Lago and that they were going to be members at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. And they loved it and they wanted to be members there. Turns out that Donald Trump gave them honorary memberships for what? The publicity. But they still think all these stories that were rumored, that were made up, fabricated, whatever, they still think that it was Trump using the royal family to gin up publicity. No. Here's what it was. It was Donald Trump using you, the media, using the Associated Press, the New York Post, the New York tabloids, the New York Times, because all you media members were so quick to print things without vetting them, and he knew you would do it. He knew all he had to say was, oh yeah, we're going to try to get Princess Diana in the Trump Tower. Oh, tell me more. Oh yeah, $5 million. She's looking to build a $5 million apartment in Trump Tower. 21 rooms. That's it. They eat it up. They write it down. They print it. They don't vet it before they print it. They could have reached out to Buckingham Palace before going to print, but they never do. So Donald Trump has been doing this for 30 years. And after 30 years, this is still it. They still don't know what he's able to do. You'll write it. It'll be a headline. People will believe it. And then later you'll write a retraction on page 3, page 6, page 10. So I thought that was funny. As you watch Donald Trump go rub elbows with Queen Elizabeth, just know he's used them for years to gin up publicity. Yeah, that's right. He used the royal family. He wasn't using the New York Times or the Associated Press or the New York Post or the Boston Globe He absolutely was, and he's the best at it. You know what? I'm on the fence about him. As far as when people say that he's a genius, as far as manipulating the media, that is 100% true. He's been able to do that, and he's been doing that for the quarter century or more. It's pretty insane. And if you A/B the coverage, they're right. Over here, you're going to see that Trump baby balloon. Over there, they're like, oh yeah, President of the United States came in, commemorated D-Day. It was nice. We'll see him next time. See you later. So there you have it. That's the Trump coverage for the day. We've got a lot more important things to get to. Frank Colvett Jr., the Memphis City Council, he is going to come by. We got the reviews of Dark Phoenix, the latest in the X-Men saga. I believe the last movie in the X-Men saga. The reviews are in. Coming up, the scooters downtown, Bird scooters, Lime scooters, they got to go. They've got to go, and I'm going to tell you why next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildups, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs. There's little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
Seniors of today are living much longer than they have in the past. They want to live active, purposeful lives. Providence Assisted Living is a place where seniors are able to downsize and simplify, but not disengage. There's always something fun going on at Providence Assisted Living. Activities such as bingo, trivia, art class, musical performances, and more. Our residents aren't patients, they're our family. With locations in Senatobia, Batesville, Grenada, and Cleveland, Mississippi, find out more on Facebook or stop by the Providence location nearest to you.
KWAM is saluting our seniors all month long. Here's Jimmy Grubbs, publisher of The Best Times, on today's seniors.
Seniors today are not just sitting home and watching television. They're either staying active in business or with family or volunteering. Yet in the past we thought seniors gave up and went home, but they're out there today. They're by far the most affluent demographics of all. Individuals and firms that do not recognize that are missing a great opportunity. They have the buying power and the time to devote to financial things that are important to them.
KWAM salutes our seniors. Brought to you by Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab, near Forest Hill Irene and Walnut Grove in Cordova. 901-758-0036. Providence Assisted Living in Senatobia. Quality senior living in a caring environment. Call 662-562-9229.
Renew, refresh, and rejuvenate in Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses. After surgery or a hospital stay, you want to get back to your normal lifestyle. If you can't recover at home, Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses provide the transitional care you need to heal mind, body, and spirit. Experienced staff offer physical therapy, speech, and occupational therapy. Enjoy private suites, chef-prepared meals, therapy garden, and more. Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses, personalized care in a home environment. For more information, call 901-386-3211.
Meriton provides services for seniors focused on making them feel independent and improving their quality of life, whether that's through work opportunities or being able to age in their own home. Meriton offers programs such as in-home care, including meal prep, household chores, home health with skilled nursing and therapy services, and employment for low-income seniors through job training and a paid part-time placement program. Call them today at 901-766-0600. Meriton, well-being, independence, quality, and compassion.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. The Listen Live link is in the top right corner. We are also on YouTube and Facebook, streaming live on both platforms. Just got to go find Nation of Jake. Shoot me a message or a tweet at Nation of Jake on Twitter. That about covers it. All right, so the other night I went downtown to meet up with my buddy Dave. We met up for a beer at the Flying Saucer. Had a couple there. Dave got hungry, wanted a burger. We went down to the Kooky Canuck right down the street. And while we're walking down the street, right down 2nd Street, we're seeing all the scooters everywhere. All right. Now, I know the Bird scooters got here sometime last year. Lime scooters are also around. And basically, these things are razor scooters with tiny little wheels, but they haul ass, man. These things go 15, 20 miles per hour. All right, and they're just laying there. 40 you use. You get an app, and then you type in your information, you pay, and then you ride around for a while. If you're tired, you got to get across downtown, hop on a scooter. Sounds great, except who the hell walks around downtown with a helmet? And I'm not one of these guys who's all like, oh, safety helmets, but kind of grown into the guy who says safety helmet, safety helmet. When I was a kid, rode around on bikes and scooters, never thought about wearing a helmet. Now I've got kids, and I'm like, do not get on that bike without your helmet. You got to protect your noggin. Because as you grow and as you experience things, you read about, you meet people who have had massive head injuries. Let me tell you something. Hopping on a little motorized razor scooter could lead to a head injury. All right, not only that, you get inexperienced riders, maybe a lady who's a little bigger, let's say she's kind of top heavy, if she were a little taller, she'd be a circle, so she hops on one of these things, never having ridden one, and not knowing how much zip they got, and then boom, breaks her hip. They don't make any sense. And I don't care what kind of waiver that you've got that's implicit when you sign up for the app. I'm sure that the legalese is pretty intense, but nobody does that. Oh, agree. Oh, yeah, agree. Boom, you're good to ride these things. Man, people are getting killed on them. Yeah, George is the president and CEO of The Voice here. He took a spill. So here's the deal about it. It's like a razor scooter. Remember the razor scooter back in the day when it came out? Oh yeah, how convenient. Little razor scooter. This piece of steel with these tiny little wheels on it that you take a sharp turn, boom, your face is in the asphalt. All right? Little tiny wheels. They're like skateboard wheels. They can't overtake a large crack or fissure in the asphalt, pothole. People ride these things on the sidewalk. It's called a sidewalk, not a side ride. So you're putting these little scooters everywhere. And not only the injuries, where I think a kid in Nashville died on one of these deals, they also just pile up everywhere. And they look like trash. It's just like garbage scooters piled up, strewn about downtown. It makes no sense. So Dave, we're walking around, he's like, oh yeah, Mayor of Nashville is trying to get those out of town because they junk up the place and they make no sense. And people are riding around. Not only are they wrecking them themselves, they're also crashing into other people. So you got a busy downtown sidewalk, people trying to walk down the street. They're trying to crack down on the scooters. And now Mayor Briley out of Nashville, he gave scooter companies 30 days to come up with proposals to improve operations in Nashville. Otherwise, he will pursue a ban that will need to be approved from the Metro Council there in Nashville. We've got Butch Spiridon, the CEO of Nashville's Convention and Visitors Corporation. He agrees with Mayor Briley. He said without guidelines, regulations, and enforcement, they're a public danger and an eyesore. That's pretty much nails it. Public danger and an eyesore. We hope the companies will take responsible action, but if not, scooters don't belong on the streets, sidewalks, yards, and neighborhoods of our city. And I'm not one of these guys who wants the government involved in everything. But come on. When did we just say, oh yeah, motorized vehicles on the sidewalk, that's okay? No problem. I mean, as long as they got a contract with the city, right? As long as the city's getting their cut, they're in on the take, then it's fine. Put motorized vehicles on a sidewalk. Not only it's where people walk, it's also the fact that, have you seen the sidewalks in this town? Have you seen them? There's not a flat stretch of sidewalk anywhere in the city of Memphis. They're all crooked. They're all sinking down. I mean, you hit one of those sidewalk slabs the wrong way, one that's all sunk in. It's like a ramp. And it's going to shoot you in the street. And one of those top-heavy women who jump on one of these motorized razor scooters is going to become a missile. You're going to crash through somebody's windshield. And you're going to have a terrible damn problem on your hands. So, yeah, listen, I am mostly the kind of guy who's like, oh, yeah, let everybody operate, open a business, do whatever you want. But when it comes down to a bunch of scooters, and honestly, the thing that bothers me most is when you're walking down the street and you see a pile of them. Like, when did we make it okay for people just to leave their junk on the side of the road? We got plenty of that in the Mid-South and in Memphis. People just dumping tires. Somebody gets arrested for dumping tires somewhere. They say, oh, this guy dumped a bunch of scooters at the corner of Beale and 2nd. People trying to walk around have to traverse little motorized razor scooters. So it's pretty goofy. And then also there's the legit injuries. I'm almost certain paramedics are getting called out more to attend to these injuries. And a lot of them are going to be minor. But, man, you face plant. You got to go to the hospital, get some stitches in your face, go to a dentist because your front teeth are knocked loose. That happened to George. Or tear your Achilles. Tear a tendon. Blow out your knee. The worst that can happen is end up in a coma because you're zipping through downtown and somebody doesn't see you and they hit you with a car or a truck. So look, I'm mostly do whatever you want so long as you're not hurting anybody. But these are hurting me. Honestly, me walking around, I don't want somebody crashing into me. I'm an inexperienced scooter rider. Back in the day, there was a phase where kids were getting into those mopeds, like the Honda Elite or the Honda Spree, just riding these things around. I mean, you need a license for something like that. These Bird and Lime scooters, they're not too far off of the Honda Spree and the Honda Elite. Now, those were full-on motorcycles. I mean, they were a little fruity to be called motorcycles. That's what they're called, mopeds. But they weren't like mopeds. Mopeds have pedals, and they're motorized bikes. These were like little scooters. So get rid of them. Get them out of here. I think that city of Memphis, maybe we'll talk to Frank Colvett about it. They are also looking at ways to be more efficient and safer. Because, man, they're getting 40-something calls a month having to deal with people crashing these Bird and Lime scooters around town. And they look like hell. It's just a bunch of scooters. How would you like it if your kid left their Razor scooter and all their bikes like in your yard? Just left it there. You'd be like, hey, put it up. But nobody puts their stuff up. It's just like a license to just leave your crap everywhere. And that's, I think long term people are gonna get sick of it. I'm already sick of it, and I've been downtown like exactly once. Just once. And I'm already done. So, scooters downtown, we need to follow Nashville's lead and crack down on them or get them the hell out of here. Coming up, did you know that your time is drawing near for getting ordained and officiating a wedding? That's right. If you want to, you got to do it quickly because on July 1st, no more online ordinations of wedding officiants. And it's a terrible law, and I'm going to tell you why next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News Update. President Trump invoked FDR today at British ceremonies marking tomorrow's 75th anniversary of D-Day, reading a prayer originally delivered by the late president.
He may hurl back our forces, but we shall return again and again. And we know that by thy grace and by the righteous of our cause, our sons will triumph.
Queen Elizabeth thanked the World War II survivors in attendance.
It is with humility and pleasure, on behalf of the entire country, indeed the whole free world, that I say to you all, thank you.
Among the world leaders in attendance, French President Macron, Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau, Australian Prime Minister Morrison, German Chancellor Merkel, and senior officials from 10 other nations. Tomorrow, solemn ceremonies planned in Normandy, France. CBS News Update. I'm Jim Shemovitz.
Brown Properties. They specialize in commercial and industrial real estate in all of North Mississippi.
He helped me locate a space and helped me get in so easily. The most professional, most accommodating person that I have ever worked with in my professional career.
I would absolutely recommend Jim Brown very highly. As a matter of fact, he'll be my real estate agent from now into the future for sure.
Hi, I'm Jim Brown with Brown Properties, commercial industrial real estate, located in South Haven, Mississippi. Call me at 662-393-2255.
Don't miss Maine and Mulberry Live every Thursday morning at 8 right here on KWAM The Voice. Maine and Mulberry Live explores the crossroads of modernization and small-town tradition, exemplified in Collierville, Tennessee. Host Keith Essery sits down with local entrepreneurs, thriving businesses, city officials, and thought leaders right here every Thursday at 8 a.m. Tune in and learn how a town comes of age with economic growth. Maine and Mulberry Live is brought to you by John Green & Company Realtors, building neighbors for 40 years.
Live your later years like you're on a fabulous vacation at the Robinwood Retirement Community Bartlett. If you are over 55, come and find out about an all-inclusive resort-style living. Month-to-month rent, meals, paid utilities, free cable, phone, and internet are included. Freedom dining, weekly housekeeping, and fitness center are just a few of the amenities offered. Elegant floor plans include full kitchens. Robinwood is the perfect choice for your luxury retirement living. Call 901-381-8949 to find the perfect place for you.
Miracles are happening in genetic testing and disease screening. As they say, knowledge is power, and Momentum Community Care offers you a chance to get early detection of cancers you may be genetically inclined to, and help develop a preventative treatment plan if needed. It's called CGX and PGX screening. The best news is that it's fully covered by Original Medicare Part B and most insurances. Call Jason Abbott at Momentum Community Care now for more information at 901-218-4425.
This is Clark Howard. I want to give you a special heads up about promotions that have been going on in so many cities in the country for apartments, where they're promoted with no security deposit, maybe a first month's free rent, whatever, to try to attract tenants to move in. Now, that's a common tactic when apartments get overbuilt. And in so many cities in the United States right now, apartments at the higher end are overbuilt. But this time it comes with a twist. Many of these offers actually are not free rent or free deposits at all. They are loans you're signing up for with so many months of interest free, and then the money's due, or you pay very high interest. So make sure when you're made an offer for free rent or whatever, moving into an apartment, that it really is that, and you're not signing up for one of these stinking loan deals.
Guess what? Right now is the perfect time to tackle those home projects you've been putting off. So come summertime, you can just sit back and relax. Home Advisor can help get you started. Home Advisor matches you to the right pro for the job in seconds. You can read reviews and even book appointments online. Home Advisor can help with any home project, big or small, painting, plumbing, even remodeling. Find a great pro now before the busy season hits. Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor. Have you heard about Newsmax TV? It's America's fastest growing cable news channel in 70 million homes. Every minute, every day. Watch Newsmax for breaking news on President Trump. Plus, get insights from Bill O'Reilly, Alan Dershowitz, Pat Buchanan, Mike Reagan, and more. You can find Newsmax TV on DirecTV, Xfinity, Dish, Optimum, Spectrum, Fios, Uverse, Suddenlink, WOW, and dozens of cable systems. So check your guide now and watch Newsmax TV. Real news for real people.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990. Online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on the Facebook and also on YouTube. Just find Nation of Jake. Any comments, criticisms, suggestions, corrections, hit me up on Twitter at Nation of Jake. Frank Colvett Jr., Memphis City Council, is coming up in a little bit. Maybe we'll ask him about the scooters that are littered throughout downtown Memphis. And they're going to be a problem sooner or later. They're already a problem. People are going to get sick of them real soon. Also, we'll talk to him about Mud Island and also this Beale Street cover charge, as well as the budget that they passed at the city council meeting yesterday. Also, reviews of Dark Phoenix are in. We'll tell you how that film is expected to fare at the box office. It opens this week. All right, so I was confused when I saw this today. I didn't know that this was something that was making its way through the state legislature. It says here, out of Nashville, wedding season is in full bloom, but if you want a friend to officiate your special day, you might want to think twice. Starting July 1st, Tennessee will prohibit persons receiving online ordinations from officiating a wedding ceremony. Under present law, in order to perform the rite of matrimony, a minister, preacher, pastor, priest, rabbi, or other spiritual leader must be ordained or otherwise designated in conformity with the customs of a church, temple, or other religious group or organization. Nowadays, to be an ordained minister is as easy as a click of the mouse. Hundreds, even thousands of people can officiate a wedding just by applying for a license online. But starting on July 1st, less than a month from now, only elected officials, like members of the General Assembly and religious leaders, can officiate a wedding ceremony. I wonder if Frank Colvett Jr. from the Memphis City Council can officiate a wedding ceremony. He is an elected official. I don't know. It says, like members of the General Assembly, is there a certain level of elected official you have to be before you can officiate a wedding? And who gets to decide all that is what I want to know. Tennessee State Legislature, I guess. Well, what's the difference? I mean, look, I look at it this way. You've got two different kinds of weddings, right? You're married in the eyes of the state, and you're married in the eyes of the church. Now, I guess there's some overlap there with whoever officiates the wedding from the church can also sign off on the paperwork from the state. Because you go get a marriage license, and at that point, like when my wife and I, we got married in Atlanta, so we went to municipal building, got a marriage license, we signed off on it, got it approved, and then it was, in the eyes of the state, we were married. We had entered that contract because there's two different sides to this coin. Now, when we got married through the Anglican Church, this guy, Father Michael, he requested our marriage license, and I guess for him to officiate the wedding, he had to sign off on some stuff. He said we'd get something in the mail. We never did. Okay, but there's a lot of people who don't go through a traditional church for their actual wedding ceremony, but they still want a friend or someone important to them ordained to preside over the ceremony, which I have no problem with. Now, there are many different places on the internet. In my research, I went on the old internet, the great wide open, to find out just how many places you can go get ordained. Hundreds of websites. Now, among them, the Universal Life Church. I think that's probably the most popular one. Go to the Universal Life Church, get ordained, you're a minister, you can preside over a wedding. The American Fellowship Church, you can get ordained and you can officiate a wedding. I guess you can essentially sign off on something. Like, I guess there's some sort of crossover. That said, there are other more, I guess, less conventional places to go to be ordained. You can go to the United Church of Bacon. Have you heard of the United Church of Bacon? Yeah, it's a website, unitedchurchofbacon.org. And it says here, praise bacon. Now, at first I thought maybe this was legit, like a legit Sir Francis Bacon inspired house of worship. It is not. It's just bacon. It's got praying hands with a slice of bacon. Maybe a little bit sacrilegious. I don't know. This is probably a church for people who don't believe in any kind of higher being. In fact, it says this about the United Church of Bacon. Are you tired of religious people being seen as morally superior to skeptics and atheists? Of religions getting special privileges in the law because they're perceived as better than secular nonprofit organizations? As a protest, a group of skeptic and atheist friends had a fantastic idea in 2010. Let's start a real legal church with a funny name and then demand the same rights as mainstream religions. And it goes through some of the beliefs here in the United Church of Bacon. We oppose supernatural claims. We are skeptics and atheists. In our religion, we doubt religion. We fight discrimination. Atheists and non-believers are not inferior and should not be hated and marginalized. We raise money for charity and are striving to be the most generous church in the world. Our officiants perform legal weddings for members, friends, and family, and always will for free. How joyful. We expose religious privileges as silly by claiming the same rights for bacon. I'll praise bacon. If you prefer to praise vegetarian bacon or turkey bacon, that is fine too. So, very much tongue-in-cheek, but it's a commentary on how real established churches are treated differently, and I see this law as such. Who decides which church is worthy of, say, officiating weddings? And here's the thing, I do not knock any religion, any at all. All religions are fine. If you've got faith and you're a true believer, be a true believer. But why are we leaving it up to the government to decide which church is worthy of performing a wedding ceremony? Why is it? Why are they the arbiters? The government, honestly, you read through the United Church of Bacon mission statement, and it's a little wacky, a little goofy. I'm sure there are nice people trying to do some good things while pointing out a little bit of a double standard in the way we do things here. That said, is it that much crazier than the Church of Scientology, which is actually recognized by the federal government as a legit church and operates tax-free? The Church of Scientology believes that long ago there were aliens, and these aliens have attached themselves to our souls, these thetans, and we have to get clear and rid our souls of these ancient alien souls, or something like that. It was largely a hoax that was made up by a guy named L. Ron Hubbard, who employed child labor on his boats. I mean, you've seen all the documentaries. I mean, read Dianetics. It's insane stuff. Watch Battlefield Earth. But I'm almost certain that a spiritual leader from the Church of Scientology would be able to perform a wedding in the state of Tennessee. But if you go online and get a certificate from the United Church of Bacon or the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, you know, the Pastafarians, that you can't, that you'll be null and void. It says here, the law says any wedding performed by an online ordained minister after July 1st, 2019 will be deemed invalid. Your wedding will be invalid or annulled or whatever, or just not recognized in the eyes of the state. Maybe we'll get somebody on to talk about this. I don't like it. I don't like it. Only because, look, you get a marriage license, you enter into that contract with someone because they're two very different things. People want to conflate the marriage in the eyes of God, the promise that you make, the circle, the union, with being married in the eyes of the state. They're two very different things. That's why you can go to a justice of the peace or a member of the General Assembly. You should just go to Glenn Cassida right now. Right, but you know, while he's still speaker, go get Glenn Cassida from the General Assembly in Tennessee to officiate your wedding. Or if you've still got your ordination from the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster or the Universal Life Church, just get married before July 1st, you're good to go. But after July 1st, yeah, the government of the great state of Tennessee must approve the ordination, and it can't be online. It can't be from the Church of Bacon. Whatever. I just think that it's kind of goofy. Who are these people to decide who gets to officiate a private ceremony is what it is. All right, coming up, the final installment of the X-Men series, Dark Phoenix, is out this weekend. This could be a big loss for Disney if you want to view it that way. We'll talk about Dark Phoenix next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
KWAM is saluting our seniors all month long. Here's Jimmy Grubbs, publisher of The Best Times, on today's seniors.
Seniors today are not just sitting home and watching television. They're either staying active in business or with family or volunteering. Yet in the past, we thought seniors gave up and went home, but they're out there today. They're by far the most affluent demographics of all. Individuals and firms that do not recognize that are missing a great opportunity. They have the buying power and the time to devote to financial things that are important to them.
KWAM salutes our seniors. Brought to you by Meriton. They're improving well-being and promote independence throughout life stages. Call them today at 901-766-0600. ATC Fitness, with locations all over the Mid-South. Find the one nearest you at atcfitness.com. Meriton provides services for seniors focused on making them feel independent and improving their quality of life, whether that's through work opportunities or being able to age in their own home. Meriton offers programs such as in-home care, including meal prep, household chores, home health with skilled nursing and therapy services, and employment for low-income seniors through job training and a paid part-time placement program. Call them today at 901-766-0600. Meriton, well-being, independence, quality, and compassion.
Seniors of today are living much longer than they have in the past. They want to live active, purposeful lives. Providence Assisted Living is a place where seniors are able to downsize and simplify, but not disengage. There's always something fun going on at Providence Assisted Living. Activities such as bingo, trivia, art class, musical performances, and more. Our residents aren't patients, they're our family. With locations in Senatobia, Batesville, Grenada, and Cleveland, Mississippi, find out more on Facebook or stop by the Providence location nearest you.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lynn Doyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floral arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lynn Doyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
Save you up to 30% on your energy bills. Call today and Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning will hook you up with an AC tune-up. Right now, save $20 on an AC tune-up. Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning, your hometown Memphis tune-up pros.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
See website for licensing.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990. Online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube, Facebook. You can also catch up with me on the Twitter at NationofJake. All right, this weekend, you got a couple of options at the movies. I believe The Secret Life of Pets 2 is out. That's where I will likely be if we get out to the movies. If it rains all weekend, we need to do something indoors. The other film that is out is Dark Phoenix, the final installment in the X-Men series for now. All right, the X-Men stuff started in like 2000. All right, and it kind of set the stage for what they've done with all these Marvel movies. All right, X-Men, they are Marvel movies, but it's not MCU Marvel. It's not Disney Marvel. But Disney just bought Fox. Fox had the rights to X-Men. So this is technically a Disney Marvel movie, but it's not Marvel Cinematic Universe. This does not take place in the same timeline as all the Iron Man and Thor and the Endgame. Okay, this is separate. That said, it's still Disney, and this could be a huge flop because the reviews are in, and they say it's not very good. They are about to release what may be Marvel's final X-Men movie, Dark Phoenix, to terrible reviews. They're bracing for major disappointment. The budget is said to be well over $200 million because they did all these massive reshoots to change the ending. Now, I say all that to say this. First of all, the X-Men stuff back in 2000 when it came out was awesome. Kind of redefined the whole superhero genre. Before that, mind you, it was Tim Burton Batman in 1989. Kind of revived it all. But then just a few short years later, that Batman franchise was in the tank with George Clooney and the bat nipples and the stupid Mr. Freeze movie, Batman and Robin, whatever it was. Pretty awful. And that almost killed off the superhero genre. X-Men comes out in 2000. It's cool. It kind of gives that gritty, realistic feel to the superhero movies. And then all of a sudden you got Spider-Man's out. And a few short years later, after a few misses with Daredevil and the Hulk, you had Iron Man, which kicked off this whole MCU deal. Cool thing about it is that Dark Phoenix wraps up that incarnation of the X-Men. They can start introducing the X-Men into the MCU, which they absolutely can do that. Look, you go back and read all these comic books from the 60s on, there was a lot of cross-pollination with X-Men hanging out with Spider-Man, Spider-Man hanging out with the Avengers. Hell, there was a cartoon I grew up watching called Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. And it was Spider-Man, Iceman, and a character named Firestar. And Iceman is an X-Man. He's part of the X-Men. And on occasion, Iceman would say, hey, I gotta go do some X-Men stuff. We'll see you later, Spidey. And they would follow Iceman with the X-Men. So I don't see it as saying goodbye to the X-Men franchise. I say is closing that chapter so they can, bring them about in a proper way with the MCU, because the Disney Marvel collaboration is really, they're the only good ones out there. I would say there are very few superhero movies that are any good if they are not part of the MCU. So I may see it. I don't like to put a lot of stock in reviews. It might be okay, but all the X-Men stuff, it was really great for a while. That X3 was a mistake. Then it was like, all right. It's like, all right, that's enough already. Just kind of got tired. So, bad reviews on Dark Phoenix, which is too bad. I was hoping for a good one. I may see it Tuesday night, 5:50 or something like that. All right, coming up, more trouble for Joe Biden, the Democrat frontrunner, being accused of plagiarism again. Plagiarism!
Serving Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas. The latest news stories are here. This is KWAM Memphis.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Real news, real reporting.
I'm Jim Sheneby. High-level talks getting underway at the White House this hour. A delegation from Mexico looking to reach a deal that would avoid the president's threatened sanctions. In Ireland, the president previewed the talks.
I think Mexico has to step up, and if they don't, tariffs will go on, and if they go high, the companies are going to move back into the United States. That's all. It's very simple.
More from correspondent Natalie Brand.
Vice President Mike Pence is expected to deliver a message to Mexico today on behalf of President Trump. Stop the flow of migrants or pay the price. The president wants a 5% tariff on all goods imported from Mexico starting Monday. The White House says those penalties will be removed if the illegal migration crisis is alleviated. The penalties could rise to 25% by October if that doesn't happen.
Earlier, the president attended ceremonies in England ahead of tomorrow's 75th anniversary of D-Day. Correspondent Steve Dorsey.
The event featured leaders from around the world with brief remarks from the Queen, outgoing British Prime Minister Theresa May, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and French President Emmanuel Macron. President Trump recited an excerpt of the prayer his predecessor Franklin Roosevelt delivered on the radio to the nation on June 6, 1944, his first time addressing the D-Day invasion.
Tomorrow the focus shifts to Normandy, France. Another hearing today in St. Louis in that lawsuit filed by Planned Parenthood to keep the state from lifting the license of Missouri's only abortion clinic. Planned Parenthood advocate Mevy Mead.
I think what we're seeing today is that Governor Parson has put Missouri in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. And the medical experts agree. Just last night, the American College of Physicians denounced this politically motivated use of the regulatory process.
And no ruling yet on that requested injunction. A Columbus, Ohio area critical care doctor, William Huslow, faces 25 murder counts for allegedly intentionally giving patients fatal doses of painkillers. Franklin County prosecutor Ron O'Brien.
Fentanyl in the amounts shown on the chart that exceed 500 micrograms, we have been advised will cause any person who's not on a breathing ventilator to cease breathing and to cause their death.
Many of the patients who died had signed do not resuscitate orders. Oakland, California has joined Denver, Colorado now as the only two cities in the U.S. to decriminalize magic mushrooms. City Council voting unanimously to do so after people testified the mushrooms help them overcome depression, drug addiction, and post-traumatic stress disorder. On Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 168. This is CBS News.
Would you risk your career or your life to go up against a big company if they were doing something wrong? Meet people who did. Whistleblower on CBS Friday.
Is your dad a Trump supporter? It's Father's Day, and whether you love him or hate him, Donald Trump is our 45th president and is making history in our lifetime. Noble Gold has the perfect gift for Dad, a minted exclusive collector's piece, the Trump Freedom Coin. One side depicts an image of Donald J. Trump, while the other side lists all his major achievements at less than $40 for each silver coin. This makes a perfect gift for dads as well as grads. This commemorative limited edition 1-ounce silver coin is the only presidential Trump coin made up of 99.9% silver, not silver plating, and IRA approved. As the price of silver rises, so will the value of these coins. These silver coins, priced at less than $40, are a perfect gift for anyone. Act now. Go to TrumpCoin2020.com and use code AMERICA to get $5 off now. That's TrumpCoin2020.com. It's the perfect gift for your dad, the presidential Trump coin. Just go to TrumpCoin2020.com and use code AMERICA to get $5 off now. TrumpCoin2020.com, code AMERICA.
No trophy for political correctness here. Deborah Rodriguez reports.
A school district in northwestern Indiana is apologizing to an 11-year-old with autism, rewarding him a trophy for most annoying male of the year. His father, Rick Castahone, says he was blindsided when a teacher at Bailey Prep in Gary made the announcement in front of students, parents, and the school principal at a 5th grade awards luncheon. Castahone says his son is nonverbal, sometimes rocks back and forth, and becomes emotional easily. The school spokesman says disciplinary action has been taken against personnel involved. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Another Colorado community has declared itself a sanctuary city for the Second Amendment. Commerce City Council voting to not enforce a number of state-level gun controls that go into effect next January. About half the state's counties have similar resolutions in effect. Commerce City is the first Denver area community to do so. Jim Shenevy, CBS News.
There's nothing like meeting face-to-face, and there's nothing like Zoom to make that happen. Zoom lets you connect and do business across town or around the world. Zoom ties together all of your communication needs into one easy platform for video conferencing, phone calls, group chat, webinars, and your conference rooms. Connect easily from anywhere, your mobile phone, your laptop, or conference room. Zoom is how business gets done. Get your free account at Zoom.com today. Meet happy with Zoom.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. 30% of Americans who are planning home improvements of $5,000 or more will pay for those renovations with a high-interest credit card. That may not be a great idea. A better idea may be to take cash out of your home with a Quicken Loans 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 4.375%, APR 4.65%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate subject to change. Pay 2.13% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
What have you done to the dog? Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on both YouTube and Facebook. Very easy to find. Nation of Jake on both. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It will let you know whenever I go live each day, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Central. And on Facebook, just get those notifications of when I go live, and you'll never miss the Nation of Jake. Also on Twitter, at Nation of Jake, if you want to fight about stuff, because that's what you do on Twitter. YouTube is for watching. Facebook is for arguing as well, around with Twitter. You can find me anywhere. Very easy to find the show each day here. But we prefer you listen live, either on KWAM The Voice, 107.9 FM, old school, on the radio dial, or online, KWAMTheVoice.com. You can do whatever you want. We just make the show available for you. It's whenever and wherever. That's right, the podcast will be up shortly after the program concludes, and that about covers it. Subscribe to the Nation of Jake. There you have it. So we've got Frank Colvett Jr. from the Memphis City Council. He's coming up in just a little bit. Tell us about the meeting yesterday at City Hall. They put in some serious hours in these city council meetings. Now, they passed a budget. They said that got through no problem, no drama there. But there's also this Beale Street cover charge. I believe they've decided to extend it throughout the summer into the fall to pay for security, also thin the crowds, and cut down on crime on Beale. We will talk to Frank Colvett about that. I want to ask him about Mud Island. We've been talking about Mud Island, Tom Lee Park, Memphis River Parks partnership the past few days. I want to know why Mud Island is in such disrepair. I mean, what an unintended consequence. You put a brand new Memphis sign down at Mud Island. By the way, you have to pay to park and to get into Mud Island in order to see the new Memphis sign and take your picture with it. So some people go down there to see the new sign, and they see Mud Island is pretty much a dump right now. And I'd like to know from Frank Colvett Jr. what, if anything, the Memphis City Council can do about it. I mean, before a bunch of people spend a bunch of money on Tom Lee Park, how about we fix Mud Island? We'll get into that with Frank Colvett Jr. coming up in a little bit. There's some headlines out about Joe Biden today. Now, Joe Biden, since he declared he was running for president in 2020, he's been the front runner, and it really hasn't been close. You can break down the polls state by state, and you can get them to tell you whatever you want, but it's pretty clear that Joe Biden is the man to beat in 2020 with regards to the Democrat primary. He's doubling up Bernie Sanders. He's lost a few points in the polls. He got the bump from when he announced his candidacy, but he's still leading by double digits in the polls. Now, a lot has been said about Joe Biden. He had the old sniffing controversy from a couple of months ago before he announced that he'd be running for president. Lucy Flores, a lieutenant governor candidate from Nevada, I believe. She claimed, maybe New Mexico. Nevada, New Mexico, they're all the same as far as those western states. She claimed that he made her feel uncomfortable, and there have been videos of Joe Biden sniffing women and touching people's faces and breathing in the face of young children and mainly sniffing. But that hasn't hurt him. I think that people see a certain authenticity with Joe Biden. Now there's other things that Joe Biden has done. When he ran for president in 1988, there was some misrepresentation of where he finished in law school. He said he was top of his class. Turns out he was the bottom of his class. He had some speeches where lines were lifted from others, so some plagiarism, and also he plagiarized while in law school. So the guy's got a bit of a plagiarism problem, and that has now reared its ugly head. Check it out. Former Vice President Joe Biden is coming under fire over fresh plagiarism allegations after his presidential campaign was forced to update its climate platform amid complaints that the team lifted lines from at least 5 outside sources without proper credit. Republicans reacted by accusing Biden of the same offense that famously hampered his 1988 presidential campaign. Famously, it says. But people don't seem to remember that the guy ran for president 30 years ago and had to drop out because of plagiarism. President Trump, tweeting from Europe, drew attention to the story Wednesday and called it a big problem. Plagiarism charge against sleepy Joe Biden on his ridiculous climate change plan is a big problem, but the corrupt media will save him, Trump said. The Republican National Committee sought to portray Biden as a serial plagiarist. How about that? You're a serial sniffer and a serial plagiarist. This is not Joe Biden's first brush with plagiarism, said RNC's Steve Guest. Biden plagiarized campaign speeches from British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock, as well as Robert Kennedy. During law school, Biden plagiarized too. Now the Biden campaign said, no. We didn't plagiarize. We just made a mistake. We made a mistake. Several citations were inadvertently left out of the final version of the 22-page document. As soon as we were made aware of it, we updated to include the proper citations. So it's not plagiarism, it's just failure to cite sources. It's always that. It's always, there was a version that was out there, but now it's updated. Like with the Green New Deal, when AOC and her crew put out the Green New Deal, that everybody was like, oh yeah, I'm on board. And then you read the part about supplying every American, even if they're unwilling to work with a job, getting rid of all the airplanes and the farting cows. Oh, no, that was a mistake. That was a version that got out before it was supposed to. It was just a mistake. Now, like, oversights like that, is that really how we want legislation to be drafted by people who make so many mistakes? And look, I'm not going to hammer Joe Biden too much on the plagiarism thing. Yeah, look, there's a big difference between plagiarism and failure to cite sources. I'll just go ahead and say it. And Joe Biden's not a guy I like to defend. Not in the least. Not a fan of Joe Biden. Don't want to see President Joe Biden. He's a lot less offensive than other candidates like Beto O'Rourke and Kamala Harris and the rest of the lot. That said, I'm going to defend Joe maybe a little bit here. He's putting together a climate platform. He's probably using all kinds of information from all different manners of activists or studies and research. He's probably just putting it in there to support his climate platform. I get it, right? But it is probably a good idea to cite sources, mostly as a mean to strengthen your position and add credibility. So if you do make a claim, like some of the claims made, here we've got average American sewage pipe is 33 years old, with many pipes dating back 50 or even 100 years. Now, it would probably strengthen your argument to have that cited. So if somebody says, hey, is that true? Where'd you get that? They can look at the website American Rivers posted that online. So it's less to attribute it to the proper researcher so as not to hurt their feelings or take credit for their work. But how about this? Where'd you get your info? We need to vet this. That's why you cite sources, in my opinion. Now, this is not like plagiarism in that he's trying to pass off all this research as his own research. Nobody thinks Joe Biden went out and got all this information himself. Nobody thinks that Joe Biden's staff did it. They are pulling from really any source they can to support the platform, right? And yes, while I said citing sources is probably the best practice, this is way different. I mean, there's a distinction to be made between failure to cite sources and then stealing like jokes or stealing bits or stealing songs or stealing stories or stealing prose. Can we agree on that? Like when you 100% lift somebody else's work, like a story, something they created from their own mind, not something they went out and found. You know, I think it depends on the purpose. Like, doesn't it? I mean, I don't like defending Joe Biden, but at the same time, I'm not going to take this instance of quote-unquote plagiarism and say, oh, the guy's dishonest, he's got a plagiarism problem because of this. I mean, the guy's dishonest for a whole host of other reasons. Not so much they're just compiling. Because, like, does it really matter? Does it really matter? You know, if he didn't cite the source for their 33-year-old pipes in the country, I don't think so. It's different than, say, if you were, tracing somebody else's comic book and passing it off as your own. Or you stole a riff from a Metallica record. Or, worse yet, the joke stealers, man. Oh, good Lord. I mean, it's way more offensive to me that a guy like Dane Cook, Carlos Mencia, and these guys go out and steal other people's jokes without crediting them. Because to me, that's stealing your livelihood. That's stealing your creativity. That's different. And then they're going out and making money on it, right? And so, I don't know. I think there's a big difference. There have been a lot of plagiarists out there. Here's the thing. People don't like to talk about it. Martin Luther King Jr., plagiarist. You would talk about failure to cite sources, and he was found to be a plagiarist when he wrote his thesis or whatever it was when he was in school. There's also guys, I mean, you look at 10 worst plagiarists in history. This guy Jason Blair, remember him? New York Times reporter Jason Blair was an unusually committed plagiarist. He began the practice while working on his college paper. In 2003, the New York Times found that 36 of his articles were either plagiarized or outright fabricated. That's insane. And that's a high-profile gig there. They said that Milton Berle, the famous comedian, was a notorious joke stealer to the point where he celebrated. He's like, yeah, all artists borrow, great artists steal, so to speak. And there's tons. And Fareed Zakaria, this guy still works. I think that he's been accused of plagiarism. So there's a lot that goes into it. I think that Joe Biden is probably a goof. He's probably lifted lines for him a lot, but all the politicians do. Oh yeah, they always. What was it? Melania Trump? Didn't she take a lot from a former First Lady Michelle Obama's speech at the RNC? And I thought that Donald Trump had a great joke that was probably written for him, is when he says the bias is very clear. It's like Michelle Obama gives a speech at the DNC and everybody loves it and they praise her. And he said, my wife gives the same speech. And it was great. Oh, that was a great bit, great joke. And I'm sure that somebody wrote it for him. And I know he probably didn't cite the source. So Donald Trump, yes, is probably a plagiarizer too. So there you have it. That's the latest from the Biden campaign, the front runner. All right, coming up, let's talk about the Memphis City Council meeting with a man who was there, who was casting votes in making decisions about the future of the city of Memphis. Frank Colvett Jr., Memphis City Councilman, will join us next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Renew, refresh, and rejuvenate in Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses. After surgery or a hospital stay, you want to get back to your normal lifestyle. If you can't recover at home, Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses provide the transitional care you need to heal mind, body, and spirit. Experienced staff offer physical therapy, speech, and occupational therapy. Enjoy private suites, chef-prepared meals, therapy garden, and more. Ave Maria's rehab greenhouses, personalized care in a home environment. For more information, call 901-386-3211.
KWAM is saluting our seniors all month long. Here's Jimmy Grubbs, publisher of the Best Times, on today's seniors.
Seniors today are not just sitting home and watching television. They are either staying active in business or with family or volunteering. Yet in the past we thought seniors gave up and went home, but they're out there today. They're by far the most affluent demographics of all. Individuals and firms that do not recognize that are missing a great opportunity. They have the buying power and the time to devote to financial things that are important to them.
KWAM salutes our seniors. Brought to you by Momentum Community Care Services, 875 West Poplar Avenue, Suite 23 in Collierville. Appella, specialized foster care and in-home personal care. To learn more, visit appella.org.
My name is Anastasia Mitri with the Mitri Institute. Are you beginning to ask the deeper questions in your life, such as, is this all there is? How did I get here? What if I don't want to be or do this for the rest of my life? And how can I make a change and stop repeating my mistakes? If you have an interest in real, lasting transformation, the Mitri Institute offers coaching that will help you have the powerful breakthroughs you're looking for. Visit us online at tnimemphis.com and turn your midlife crisis into your midlife awakening.
I'm Ed Paramic, the owner of JanPro, a franchise that helps you be your own boss. JanPro is now the fastest growing franchise in the entire world for the second year in a row by Entrepreneur Magazine. We are growing so fast we need new business owners right here in Memphis right now. So if you want to be your own boss and open your own business, call JanPro at 901-683-4900 to see just how easy it is to be your own boss. For as little as $950 down, you can be a part of JanPro. Don't waste another minute. Call 901-683-4900.
Meriton provides services for seniors focused on making them feel independent and improving their quality of life, whether that's through work opportunities or being able to age in their own home. Meriton offers programs such as in-home care, including meal prep, household chores, home health with skilled nursing and therapy services, and employment for low-income seniors through job training and a paid part-time placement program. Call them today at 901-766-0600. Meriton, well-being, independence, quality, and commitment.
Back to it.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. We're online, KWAMTheVoice.com, streaming live on both YouTube and Facebook. Subscribe to both, or one or the other. I don't ask too much. Just Nation of Jake. And also hit me up on the Twitter, at Nation of Jake. It's Wednesday, the day after a City Council Tuesday here in the great city of Memphis. We always like to talk to Councilman Frank Colvett, friend of the program. Frank, welcome to the Nation of Jake. How are you?
Jake, how are you doing?
It's going great, my man. How about you?
Anytime you can do a balanced budget with no tax increase, that's a good day.
All right, and that was one of the big things coming out of the City Council meeting yesterday. The budget, no news is good news. It went through, no tax increase. No real fireworks, no massive fights this time around. Tell us about this budget. What are some of the highlights or lowlights?
Well, the highlights are that we got some raises for city employees and nice raises for first responders. We got the $19 million, which is about $500,000 to $1 million more than last year for more asphalt and road paving. Of course, keep the libraries open, youth summer programs and jobs, we're actually increasing that. So overall, it had some fireworks, but overall, we all agreed because the votes were unanimous. It was a very good, balanced budget.
All right, how'd you guys get the money for the raises? Because the mayor presented raises of 3%. You guys went up. There was some millions of dollars that you guys had to account for. How'd you guys find the money?
That's correct. Well, in the mayor's original budget, the tax revenue naturally increases about $10 million a year. That's just through increased property assessment, new projects coming online, that kind of thing. So that's where the first initial push of money came from. And then the second, we basically went back through, the administration went back through the budget, found some appropriate cuts and they're still looking for several more, but about $1 million there. And then what really developed for the first time, we have a comprehensive alarm registration program. We all, if you have an alarm system, you know how you get that card, you pay your $5 every year.
No. Well, I mean, yes, I
well,
know that there is that, yes, in the city of Memphis there. But I don't get that.
Well, we've begun to really vigorously chase that, and to the tune of increased revenue of about $1 million.
That's not a bad gig. Yeah, just go shake down some alarm havers. Hey, you guys are doing your part out there. You folks with home security alarms, you guys are making it easier for us to do our jobs. Why don't you pay us for that too? I can't get behind it, Frank. I understand your position, but I just don't like the nickel and diamond, man. Don't like it.
Well, I'm with you on that one, but it's also in our efforts to lower false alarms and being able to respond more to it. So, at the end of the day, though, it's you and I are both in agreement.
Yeah. I'm just messing with you, Frank. You guys found the money. Everybody's getting their raises. Everybody's going to seem happy about the budget. Now, there was a little bit of contention over this Beale Street cover charge. We talked about it during the month of May. The City Council voted $5 if you want to get on Beale Street between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. All right, and then you guys have now voted to extend that. How long is that going to go on?
Essentially through the summer and into September. And it's for the weekends, and it's designed, when the police gave their report yesterday, I mean, Jake, it was chilling what all goes on downtown on Beale Street, that the police need to have the tools necessary to be able to basically make it safe for everyone. And it's very rare that the police director is going to come down and all but beg us to do something. But his arguments were compelling. The data was very specific. So at the end of the day, to me, it was a no-brainer. I mean, if it increases safety and increases the ability to build more walls, make the place safer, more police, then I'm all in favor of it.
All right, and those who were against it, 4 council people of 11, I guess a 7-4 vote. Aren't there 13 of you guys?
There are. Berlin Boyd was out of town.
Oh.
And I think Jamita did not vote on that issue.
Nah, Jamita says she voted against it. Now, and that doesn't matter who was there, who wasn't, but those voting against this measure, what is their problem? What is their rationale? I mean, what do they think a $5 cover charge? How is that going to disenfranchise people?
Their stated reason will be is that they don't believe a cover charge enhances safety. But the bottom line, I think, and this is just my opinion, the bottom line is that their constituents are lighting them up. The folks that really like to go to Beale Street about those hours, they want to go for free. Well, the problem is you get that many thousands of people without any control over it and control over the total number, then you could have chaos. I mean, if you've seen the videos on these stampedes, it's people getting run over. But at the end of the day, that's what I think it is. It's just their constituents are really, really lighting them up. They like to go to Beale Street at those times, and that's great. But the problem is, at the end of the day, it's everybody's safety we have to have as our primary concern.
Well, Frank Colvett Jr., I think we need a bigger sample size. I mean, as far as the data goes, when you go and say, okay, we're going to have a $5 cover charge, we're going to do this for a month or 2 or 3 months, and then compare it to, the same time, say last year or whatever it is. You just need more data points, because you can watch YouTube videos of stampedes and you can make a knee-jerk reaction, but without the actual data and a fair amount of it, you really can't reach a conclusion on whether or not it prevents crime. So I would say to those voting against, if they say it doesn't do anything to prevent crime, I would just say, how do you know? How do you know? We need more data. So just keep it going through September, and then maybe compare it to when there was no cover charge.
Well, you can go that direction. I would add that if the police ask you for something and all but beg you, your answer needs to be yes, whatever you need. And the other thing is, the data we have at this point, 80%, 90% of the stampedes happened at those times when there was not a cover charge.
Okay.
So the beginning data already shows that limiting the crowd sizes does in fact help. So I don't understand why people get so upset about this cover charge. If you want to go, if you want to go see a movie, you need to pay for it.
But just go at 9:30. Go at 9:30. Just get there a couple minutes early. Just get there at 9:45. Yeah, 9:59, and just show whoever's taking the money, hey, it's 9:59. I'm not paying you $5. I got here in time. You can avoid that little cover charge. Couple of things though, Frank, I want to make sure I bring up. It's been all the talk the past couple days here at KWAM with myself and Earl Farrell. Mud Island. All right, there was a lady on the news who went down to the new Memphis sign at Mud Island, I guess get a selfie with it, because that's the whole point. They build this new Memphis sign, and all these trendy millennials will go down to Mud Island and take a picture and post it on the Instagram, and then everybody will need one. So you're bringing all these people down to this new attraction at Mud Island, and when they get there, they see how bad a shape Mud Island's in, and they're like, oh my God, there's all this algae and funk growing in the Mississippi River replica. What's going on with Mud Island? And amid this whole debate about Tom Lee Park, shouldn't we be focusing on Mud Island?
Well, first things first, I think that whoever is in charge of Mud Island probably either needs to be reprimanded or outright fired, because at the end of the day, I think you're bringing up the point, why are we spending all this money on this really cool sign that people want to take pictures at, and the pathway there is horrendous looking. But I think where you're also driving it, and I think you're exactly right, the park is over, 35 years old. It hadn't had a major renovation. We've had folks kick tires over the years, maybe recasting Mud Island. And I think that option remains on the table if, for example, a developer, remember Mr. Cates wanted to do, I think it was like an outdoor, canoe and adventure kind of a park kind of a thing.
I recall that. Andy Cates wanted to do that.
Yeah, so I think that there can be some very real and cool ideas on recast. Of course, the idea of the aquarium popped up.
I mean, it's a cool place as long as it's not dilapidated. Like it was, I grew up going to Mud Island, walking around in the Mississippi River replica, ride the monorail across, then going to shows. I've been to plenty of concerts at the amphitheater. I mean, it's a cool place. They had little festivals in that area where the sign is. And there's a little flat place out there. Excellent little park. But isn't it under the purview of the Memphis River Parks Partnership?
Well, first things first, Jake, don't sell yourself short. I mean, as chief lifeguard at Buck Boogie Beach back in the day on Mud Island, you did a great job out there.
No question. Fantastic.
There's no question. I have to actually dig into the Downtown Memphis Commission and who exactly is in charge of it. I just became aware of this just not a day or two ago, and so we've begun digging into it. But hopefully, with the way this is going, that funds perhaps in next year's budget, and/or we can go to Nashville, heck, even Washington, potentially get some federal funds to improve the park, and/or just at the very least, we've already begun cleaning it up. But at the end of the day, it's 1983 technology, it's 1983 architecture, 1983 the light fixtures are antiquated and have been for decades.
Yeah. But hold on a second, Frank. In 1983, I mean, we realize that there are buildings that are still functional in this country that are 100 years old. I mean, you go anywhere else in the world, 1983 is brand new, and it's been neglected. And I guess really the question is at what point does the city council get involved? You guys are the voice of the people. You guys were elected to make decisions like this. At what point do you guys get in the middle of this Memphis River Parks Partnership stuff? Because we got private nonprofits who are looking at spending a boatload of money, some of it public money. I mean, Shelby County is going to give $10 million towards it to essentially remake Tom Lee Park, and that's not broken. Mud Island's broken. It's broken. It needs to be fixed. I mean, at what point does somebody say, hey, get your priorities straight? We got a dilapidated park right downtown next to the one that you want to redesign, and that one's not broken. How about just shuffle them in the queue a little bit? I mean, can you guys not do it?
In a simple phrase, you're exactly right. A longer answer would be is that I think with this news story coming out, that's Berlin Board's district, that I think we're going to end up engaging the Mud Island question to find out what we could potentially do with it. And I think you're also exactly on the money that Tom Lee Park is not broken.
No, it's not.
I think we all agree it's not broken, but Mud Island, while it some might consider it a new building, it definitely needs retrofitting and updating.
Right, but it's not insurmountable is what I'm saying. I mean, 1983 technology, I mean, you can go and just paint it up. Paul on Facebook is saying, hey, get some trusty inmates from the Shelby County Sheriff's Office jail to go out there and clean it up and paint it up and fix it up. Get Ramjack out there, fix some foundation issues. I don't know. And then the one last thing, Frank Colvett Jr., Memphis City Council, we have to start looking into get ahead of this scooter problem downtown, man. I was downtown a couple nights ago. I don't go down there often, but these scooters get stacked up on the sidewalk and they're in the way, and people are getting hurt, and they're going to be a big problem. Where are you on the scooter stuff?
I was always in favor of it. This is the first I've heard of it. The one part that caught my attention is people flying past you, and if you're not paying attention, walking down the sidewalk, they're actually really quiet. So right now, I don't know of any potential changes to the scooter ordinances or the resolutions. So
we'll keep that one kind of under your hat a little bit, but just know that, man, there's going to be some scooter backlash. All right, because I was walking around, I'm tripping over these things. People just leave them wherever they want. Like, whose idea was it just to leave your stuff out? Like back in the day, man, you leave your bike out. My dad would throw it in the trash. Just throw it in a dumpster. Like, if you left my dad had one rule. It was, two rules. One was keep your hands to yourself, and the other one was put them on or put them up. Which meant, if your shoes are out, he would throw them away. If you left your bike out, he would throw it away. You say, no, you're done. You didn't put your stuff up. But then we encourage all these people to go out and ride scooters, just leave it wherever. And so,
and that's because you, of course, pay by I think it's the minute for every minute you use it. And I think that's the reason why they're all kind of being bunched up and left. People use them as long as they need, and then they leave them when they're done. It would be a fair question to ask, how are these scooters maintained, and is there a group that goes by and picks them up and maybe redistributes them across the city so this doesn't happen?
The mayor of Nashville is saying he's going to ban them if they don't get it together. And so I'm thinking, I don't always like to follow Nashville's lead, but I think he's on to something here. Because I was serious, I tripped over 4 of them. And maybe it's just because I'm clumsy. But there are people who are a lot less clumsy than me who are tripping over them. There's people who are a lot more clumsy than me riding them around. So
you definitely ride at your own risk, but it's interesting that you bring this up in light of my walking downtown and some guy almost taking my arm off.
Well, yeah.
It's
a problem.
Unfortunately, let me look into the Nashville question, see what he's trying to do, because the redistribution is probably part of it.
All right, we'll tell you what, keep your eye on that, and we will talk to you sooner than later, my man.
My friend, I always enjoy it.
Right, there you go. Frank Colvett, Memphis City Council. He's up for re-election, I think. I saw a Frank Colvett billboard not long ago. He's a good dude. I like having him on the show, and I appreciate him coming in here. All right, we're going to take a very quick news cruise, a leisurely but abbreviated look at the headlines. We'll do that next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The voice Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News Update. High-level talks this afternoon at the White House between administration officials and a delegation from Mexico. It's all about those tariffs threatened by President Trump unless Mexico moves to slow the flow of illegal immigrants into the U.S. South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham supports the tariff plan.
The pain you're going to suffer to fix the border is do it now or do it later. If Mexico doesn't change their behavior, they'll keep coming. If we don't change our laws, they'll keep coming. So what's the president supposed to do? Just throw up his hands and give up?
There is a growing chorus of Republicans against tariffs, including Pennsylvania Senator Pat Toomey.
Let's take this one step at a time. The president has not pulled the trigger on this. I think we would all be better off if we don't put a round of tariffs on Mexico. And let's see what happens.
Mexico's president has expressed optimism a deal can be done to address the immigration issue and avoid the tariffs. CBS News Update. I'm Jim Shenlevin.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildups, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs. There's little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now, I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
Miracles are happening in genetic testing and disease screening. As they say, knowledge is power, and Momentum Community Care offers you a chance to get early detection of cancers you may be genetically inclined to, and help develop a preventative treatment plan if needed. It's called CGX and PGX screening. The best news is that it's fully covered by Original Medicare Part B and most insurances. Call Jason Abbott at Momentum Community Care now for more information at 901-218-4425.
ATC Fitness would like to announce their new partnership with Silver Sneakers. That's right, ATC Fitness now accepts Silver Sneakers members. ATC Fitness is your local, family-owned 24-hour gym. Get started on the right track with their easy-to-follow instructions and demonstrations. Remember, if you are a Silver Sneakers member, come to any ATC Fitness throughout the Mid-South. Check them out online at atcfitness.com to find the nearest location to you.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com, streaming live on YouTube and on Facebook, Nation of Jake both places. Holler at me on Twitter, because that's what you do on Twitter, is you holler at people. Carlos is on Twitter. He checks in every day. He thinks that Frank Colvett Jr. should tweet more often. Use Twitter more to engage with his constituents. I think it's a good idea, Carlos. You know, people always text me. They're like, man, why are you always yelling at Frank? I was like, listen, Frank gets it. I'm not yelling at Frank. I'm venting to Frank. Frank and I are good buddies. He's a good guy. He gets it. But he knows that I'm not trying to scream at him. It's just who I am. It's how I do it. Okay, we need to hop on this boat. We call it the News Cruise. It's brought to you by Just Windows Home Services. They're online at justwindowsmemphis.com. Let's go!
News. Exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. The News Cruise, full of exciting news. The News Cruise, so relax and kick off your shoes.
All right, welcome aboard the News Cruise, brought to you by Just Windows Home Services. You can call those guys for a free estimate, 751-3934, 751-3934, but they do more than just windows. They're called Just Windows, but since its inception in 1992, they've taken on a lot more. That's right, right now, with the rain coming through, it's going to soak everything, including all that stuff that's in your gutters, and then the mosquitoes are going to breed in your gutters. Ants are going to set up shop under there, and they're going to get in your house, and they're going to ruin your summer. Keep the gutters clean with the guys from Just Windows Home Services. And also, they can do the pressure washing. You know, any of the debris, any of that dirt that's made its way down into the asphalt on your patio, your walkways, Steve will come over there with his pressure washing machine, and he'll get rid of it. That way you can enjoy your outdoor structures, your pool, your patio, all summer long. Cut down on those mosquitoes when you got people over. Man, it kills it for you. You got people over and people got to go home. Like, man, mosquitoes are too bad around here. Clean your gutters. It's called Just Windows, 751-3934. 20% off if you tell them you heard about Just Windows on the Nation of Jake. All right, just a few headlines here in this news cruise. Looks like the Court of Appeals in Nashville ruled in favor of the city of Memphis on the sale of Confederate monuments, according to court documents filed on Tuesday. Now, the Sons of Confederate Veterans was seeking injunctive relief from Davidson County Chancery Court. Documents show the court found that the parks and monuments were no longer public property and were not protected under the Tennessee Heritage Protection Act of 2016. So, the monuments are no longer public property because they were sold to a nonprofit called Memphis Green Space for $1,000 each. Okay, so I guess the monuments in the park now belong to Memphis Green Space. I wonder what they're going to do with those monuments. Because, look, think what you want about Nathan Bedford Forrest. And there's a very controversial history of the man, what he stood for, what he embodies, what he symbolizes. And you can debate that all day, but just the craftsmanship of that statue, it's superior work. It looks great. It belongs somewhere, maybe a museum or something. I just hope that it's displayed in the proper place. That's what I think. Just somebody a long time ago, without really advanced technology, made that statue of Nathan Bedford Forrest on his horse. All right, so I don't know what's going to happen with him. This might go to the Tennessee Supreme Court. It may go up all the way. I mean, I think you should take the statue along with Nathan Bedford Forrest and his wife to Elmwood Cemetery, where he said he wanted to be buried. It's not up to me. It's going to be up to the courts. We've got Speaker of the House Glenn Cassada of the General Assembly. He will step down as Speaker in August, effective August 2nd, which will also be his 60th birthday. Why not today? Why is he going to draw this out for a couple of months? I guess he's asking for a special session where he can kind of make things right and offer up a transition of power. This is not like the head of state of a country. You're the Speaker of the Tennessee House. You can do this by email. All right, you don't have to wait 2 months and get a special session going. Of course, Glenn Cassada caught up in all those sexual texts by his Chief of Staff, Cade Cothran. We've got unlocked doors are fueling auto break-ins in Shelby County. According to Shelby County deputies, there's one simple thing drivers aren't doing that's leading to more guns on the street, and that is locking your car doors. All right, investigators say 206 car burglaries were reported in unincorporated Shelby County. 157 turned out to be actual car burglaries, and 97 of those were unlocked. That counts for nearly 2/3 of auto break-ins. Now, some people are under the impression of, leave your car door unlocked and they won't break your window. That said, burglars, car thieves, they like to go to the path of least resistance. So a lot of the time, they'll just go through a parking lot or go through a neighborhood, and they'll start pulling on handles. And if they get one that's unlocked, they're in, right? Now, they can steal your stuff if you are foolish enough to leave your stuff in an unlocked car. I get it. If there's nothing worth stealing in the car, nothing you're going to miss, leave the door unlocked. They won't break the window. But here's the thing. They probably won't break the window anyway. They're just going to go to the next car that's unlocked. So lock your doors. I've talked to my friends in law enforcement. They say anybody who tells you to leave your car door unlocked, that's absurd. That's idiotic. Lock your car door and make sure there's nothing in there worth stealing. Don't leave. I always, when I go somewhere, you'll see me out. If I meet up with somebody for coffee, I've got my backpack with me because I do not leave my stuff in my car. It does not matter what neighborhood I'm in. It doesn't matter what part of town I'm in. I do not leave my stuff in my car. I bring it with me. Like, hey, Jake, why you got your backpack? You waiting on the bus? Like, yeah, you know what? You wait until your stuff gets stolen out of your car. Fool. Germantown has withdrawn its plans for a cell phone tower near Dogwood Elementary School. This was a big controversy. All these parents, don't you dare build that cell phone tower near my child's school. It'll give him cancer. Which there's no link between cell phone radiation and cancer. They decided they were going to back it up another 250 feet. Now they're saying, the hell with it. All these parents are in my business about it. So they are not going to build that cell tower. Cell reception will continue to be spotty in Germantown until there's a new cell tower. That said, the same guy and ladies who are screaming about their kid getting exposed to cell phone radiation, they'll go to Chili's and they'll ignore their kid and they'll just let them play on the phone the whole time. That's an observation I've made about people in Germantown, where I'm from, so I can say these things. We've got a car stolen from a Cordova gas station with the support dog inside. I wonder if they left the windows down or something like that. And then they said that the support dog was hit by a car in the gas station parking lot, and then somebody placed the dog, whose name is Bubba, in a dumpster. That's low. That's low. Stealing a car, low. Number 2, stealing a car with a support dog inside, low. Letting it out to where it's hit by a car, low. And in the lowest is putting them in a dumpster. Terrible. Okay, we've got a few more things, but they don't matter. By the way, they are going to investigate the Jeopardy video leak. It came out on Monday. James Holzhauer's streak ended. He did not overtake Ken Jennings as the all-time Jeopardy earnings regular season leader, but the leak of the video got out before it aired in most markets, and now the producers are investigating it, and they will take appropriate action against the leaker. All right, coming up, we're going to wrap things up. We're going to get you set up for the Earl Farrell program, and there's a new law that is being passed in New York State, which I hope doesn't make its way down to us in Tennessee. And you're going to know exactly why when we get back right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
KWAM, The Voice salutes our seniors all month long. Baby boomers are hitting retirement with vitality and vigor that's redefining how senior communities are designed and healthcare is administered. Estimates show that by 2050, there'll be 83.7 million people 65 and older. On average, seniors are the most affluent demographic in America, with seniors having 5 times the net worth of the average American. Today's seniors are redefining aging. They'll play games remotely with their grandkids or read the news on their iPads. In America, seniors use more internet than any other age group. KWAM salutes our seniors. Brought to you by
Robinwood Retirement Resort, an all-inclusive senior living community that is the perfect choice for your luxury retirement living. For more information, call 901-381-8949. Ave Maria's Rehab Greenhouses, personalized care in a home environment. For more information, call 901-386-3211.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lynn Doyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floral arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lynn Doyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
Miracles are happening in genetic testing and disease screening. As they say, knowledge is power, and Momentum Community Care offers you a chance to get early detection of cancers you may be genetically inclined to, and help develop a preventative treatment plan if needed. It's called CGX and PGX screening. The best news is that it's fully covered by Original Medicare Part B and most insurances. Call Jason Abbott at Momentum Community Care now for more information at 901-218-4425.
Seniors of today are living much longer than they have in the past. They want to live active, purposeful lives. Providence Assisted Living is a place where seniors are able to downsize and simplify, but not disengage. There's always something fun going on at Providence Assisted Living. Activities such as bingo, trivia, art class, musical performances, and more. Our residents aren't patients, they're our family. With locations in Senatobia, Batesville, Grenada, and Cleveland, Mississippi, find out more on Facebook or stop by the Providence location nearest you.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Yeah, nobody told me my YouTube audio was fuzzy the entire show. Appreciate Wolfman for just now pointing that out. Maybe he just tuned in, I don't know. Hey, listen, it's a work in progress here. Sorry about the bad audio on the YouTube. We'll get that figured out tomorrow. I know what the problem is. It's this goofy charger I'm using. It's got exposed wires and it's causing interference. All right, the podcast will be up shortly after the program, which is shortly after now. We got Earl coming up at 3:06. I want to leave you with this. Looks like New York State Legislature voted to become the first state in the nation to ban cat declawing. It will be illegal in the state of New York to declaw your cat. The bill has been scratching its way through the state capitol for several years, but received increased support this year. It passed both houses of the legislature and will now head to Governor Andrew Cuomo's desk. The bill's sponsor, Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthal, called declawing of cats a cruel and unnecessary surgical procedure that has no place in modern veterinary medicine. Linda Rosenthal also does not own a beloved sectional called Sectional Chocolate that was torn to bits by my wife's cat. That's just it. I understand. If the cat is already old or used to having its claws, then yeah, it's probably not a good idea to declaw the cat, like a full-grown cat. But if the cat's just like a little baby cat, a little kitten, then go ahead and do it. And there's some people, and I don't know if this is true or not, they say it would be like cutting off your first knuckle. Look, you got to make sacrifices. You got no problem neutering and spaying these cats, right? There's no problem with cutting off a boy cat's ween, but then go ahead, no, but don't cut the claws, don't file down the claws too much. I hope that this does not spread, at least not far south, because there's a lot of people out there who spend good money on really nice furniture, like a really nice sectional, and it just gets torn to shreds by these cats. And yeah, you're probably saying, I just don't have a cat. Well, I don't. My roommate does. All right, Earl's coming up. I'll be back tomorrow at 1. So long, and thanks for all the fish.
This is the Voice KWAM Memphis. The latest news